When I hear you talk about how they deplete one river and move on to the next, you know, at first you think about how that affects the fishing for people, but then imagine how that's affecting all the other wildlife, all the other animals that are wanting to get that food.
And on some of these rivers, there's subsistence fishermen. So the guys basically make a living out of fishing every day with a rod in the river. That's how they support their families. It's not legal, but they don't do any damage. I don't think they don't take that much fish. Basically, they're taking fish to eat, and now and again they get an extra one or two that they can sell. You know, but these guys are actually just taking everything.
Do you have an example that you can give us of a trickle-down effect within the food chain and the ecosystem? What happens, like all the way up to the terrestrial animals, how it affects their survival?
I think basically it would affect anything that lives on a river. You know, if you start off with all the little fish in the river and you go up to your big fish right at the top, if you're taking out all the big fish, then there's an explosion of small fish, you know, and the small fish deplete all the organisms in the river. So the small fish actually destroy the river in the end because there's just too many of them, where the big fish would have controlled the small fish population. So I think all the way through, I actually can't see any way out. It's just destroying the river completely, you know?
Nothing left for the frogs, nothing left for the birds.
The bigger fish are being taken out. The fish eagles have got nothing to catch. Right down, I mean, even right down to the legavons that live in the river here.
So then those animals are going to move away. They're going to go somewhere else.
Yes.
And then the animals that fed on those animals have nothing left. Then this just becomes a barren area.
It's basically the same as when you fish a reef and you take all the apex predators out. You take the sharks away and you take the brindle bass and the potato bass off the reef. Within a year or two, there's almost nothing on the reef. It's just your basic fish like your sturgeon and fusiliers. When you dive on the reef, there's no rock hard, there's no predator fish basically left. You know, they just seem to move away and they don't come back. It takes years actually for them to even start coming back. Before the gillnetting here, when you drove up this river at night, everywhere around you, if you shone a torch like this on the water, the mullet would jump in the boat. You know, it would be amazing if we drove up the river. It was just chaos here, all the fish splashing and jumping with the lights on the water. Now when we're driving up here, you don't see anything. It's just absolutely dead. So you come up here and there are a lot of owls in the trees, and you can see the owls at night sometimes flying around. You don't see owls anymore. Fish eagles don't seem to come here anymore. This area here is actually almost inaccessible that we're going past now on this bank. So there's a lot of wildlife here. There's a lot of little duiker and bushbuck and all that kind of stuff, all the small antelope species. Because the local hunters that hunt with the dogs can't get into here because it's completely closed off.
So their last refuge.
Yeah, pretty much. And all the species you see on the bank here, in summer when you drive along here, you see all the legavons and stuff sitting on the bank sunning themselves. And every now and again, if you're really lucky, you get a huge rock python or something will be sitting here sunning itself. But in the last 2-3 years, you're just getting tiny little legavons, not even the big ones anymore. So I mean, I don't think there's enough food to basically sustain the local life supply anymore.